Hey gang, hope everyone is well. Hi, I've just come down to a beach to see if I could get shots of the sunset, but it's a bit of a washout, but there's some interesting colours in the sky, and I'm basically just trying the handheld live ND, which I sometimes do, just play with. There's a little bit of wave movement, not a lot, but just seeing if I can get anything. But anyway, that's not the reason why I'm doing the video. Let me put this down. So the main reason I want to do a video is recently I saw that the Panasonic G9 II has been released. And with that, lots of influencers have putting the camera through their paces and giving their opinion on whether it's a viable option for wildlife photography. Not specifically the Panasonic camera, but more basically Micro Four Thirds, whether it's an option. So these days, it seems that Panasonic and OM systems don't release cameras very often. So when they do release them, it reignites that old discussion: can Micro Four Thirds compete with full frame or APS-C in terms of wildlife photography? Now, I'm not going to do a long video. I haven't tried the Panasonic. I'm not going to. I've got an OM1 and I love it. And I spent years shooting full frame APS-C with Nikon. I have the 300mm 2.8. I've still got it. I've got the 500 5.6 PF. Those are fantastic lenses. I've got the D500, I've got Nikon Z6 II, haven't tried the Z9, but basically I know what good quality images look like. The Nikon really produced great images, but I never touch it these days because once you've tried 50 frames per second or 20 frames per second, it's very difficult to go back to 10 frames a second. And the Nikon 6 II, to be honest, it produces beautiful files, but it is just not a birding camera. The autofocus just doesn't keep up, in my opinion. So basically, I'm just going to say I've been using Micro Four Thirds now for a couple of years. I had the Olympus EM1 Mark II, and then I've been using the OM1 for, I don't know, a year and a half or something. And I recently was in the jungles of Malaysia and Thailand, and I didn't think twice about, oh, I need my ARC, because I still have my full frame Nikon cameras, but I didn't think twice about taking my Micro Four Thirds, because nowadays with all the great noise reduction software like DxO and Topaz, the field has been leveled. So yes, there is more noise, but these software applications are so good at reducing it, it really can't notice the difference now. And if you're taking pictures at the same ISO, those lower ISOs, you really can't see a difference in the image quality. The Olympus 300mm f4, which is what I use, and those great prime lenses from Nikon I mentioned before, there's really not a lot of difference in the image quality. So there's obviously a number of reasons why I like Micro Four Thirds. One, size and weight. Yes, some other companies are now making mirrorless cameras that are a lot smaller than they were, but basically my old Nikon setup, the 300mm f2.8, is an incredible lens, amazing image quality, but it is so huge, so heavy. I don't want to take that out anymore. And the Olympus 300mm f4 with my OM1 is just such a small, easy setup. I just pick it up and put it in my car seat and take it out, and if I use it, I do. If I don't, I don't. But it just seems so hassle-free to use it. I have much fewer lenses now I use Olympus. With Nikon, I had so many different lenses. I just have 3 lenses I basically use with my OM1. I use my 60 macro, I use my 12-40, which I've been using now, and I use my 300. That's about it. So to me, Micro Four Thirds just makes everything so much easier. So obviously size and weight, portability is a big issue. Also, I love all the computational features of the OM1. As I said, I enjoy using the live ND. I sometimes use the handheld high-res mode. I often use the in-camera focus stacking. So all these features make the camera itself really, really fun to use. Don't want to give those up just yet. Instead of going through all the different features of Micro Four Thirds saying why I think it's a good system, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these other YouTube videos and they've had that Panasonic, but they probably only get it for a week or two. They're not really experienced in how the Micro Four Thirds system works, whereas I've been using it for a year and a half, a lot. So I'm giving you real advice, real user experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a load of pictures that I've taken, mostly wildlife, that I've taken using Micro Four Thirds. I'm not going to put all the settings up and everything because I want to get this video out and I haven't got time. It takes me ages. If you see a shot that you want to know the settings for, just chuck it in the comments and I'll let you know. So I hope you enjoy the pictures and I hope you'll see through the photos that Micro Four Thirds is a definite viable option for wildlife photography. Yes, you can be talking about specs and people can tell you about the autofocus, but often when I watch a review, I want to see what kind of photos it produces. Say hi in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. Take care. All these pictures were taken with either the Olympus EM1 Mark II or the OM1, coupled with either the Panasonic 100 to 400 mm or the Olympus 300 mm f4 with teleconverter, or my 60 mm macro lens Olympus or the 12 to 40 Olympus for the landscape shots. I've taken so many different pictures with these setups, so I didn't have time to go through them, so I just picked a load of random pictures.